Hi, welcome back to Byte Size Moments with AJ. Today is a special edition coming from my home office, which is also a gaming room, hence the maps and books in the background. Today I want to talk a little bit about goals and how I structure my day to align with those goals. So if you haven't taken a Hero on a Mission workshop with us, or if you're unfamiliar with it, some of these concepts are covered in that, and I really found that workshop very helpful for nailing a lot of the little where I want my life to go type things down and whether or not I was living the type of life I wanted to lead. So as we go over things today, I might reference that a few times, and there will be a link in the description to that workshop if you are curious. So first of all, there are two types of goals that I like to keep in mind every day. The first is my daily goals. Those change obviously day to day, and sometimes they are wanting to get some big piece of a project done. Sometimes they're wanting to finish my work quickly so that I can get home early for something. Sometimes they are wanting to get as much work done because I know something big is coming up later in the week. And sometimes it is just to make it through the day because I didn't sleep well or I don't feel great. And then sometimes it's to learn a new concept or master a new skill. Those are my favorite days. I love figuring things out. So a little bit about me that will make a lot of this make more sense is I have ADHD. And especially I struggle with executive dysfunction and time blindness. The ADHD actually comes out a lot in these videos because I have a hard time maintaining eye contact with the camera while I'm thinking, and I stumble over my words. So as a person who has ADHD, working as a partner in a company, these are just some things that have helped me make it. So first off, this advice isn't for everyone. Obviously, you do have to find things that work for you. One thing that I always found really frustrating was people being like, this is how you should do things, and they just didn't work for me. They didn't click with my brain. So as a company, we use a tool called Monday, Monday.com, and it is a project management system. It's a database system basically, but it's used a lot for project management. It's very flexible. I love it. So the first thing that I do to really help myself achieve my goals is every week, I actually plan the following week on Friday. Make sure I have all the tasks that I know are coming my way in that system and ready to go. And that helps me to set my expectations for the week and plan out personal life things around the work that I need to do. Especially since I have coaching and things like that, which can pop up last minute. It gives me the ability to be flexible around those things because I know exactly what has to get done and what can't get done. The second thing is I like to make sure that all of my big things are accounted for. I don't always work on the big things first, and I'll come back to that. But sometimes I might have so we use Scrum, which is like a way of, it's a project management tool as well. So we assign points to our cards. The higher the point value, the more time and or effort it takes. The lower the point value, the easier or shorter the task is. So sometimes a task that's assigned a point value of like 6 is harder and is going to take more time than 6 tasks that are assigned a point of 1. So I do like to, at the beginning of my day, get some of the big things in there. And I make sure that there's at least 1 or 2 big things every day that make it onto my plate. Because it's a lot easier to get through those ones if they're left over than it is to end up, Thursday at 3 o'clock that you have 2 6s left and you are supposed to be off the next day. Or we use one day a week as our internal day, and one day we focus on very specific tasks. So getting to that point and realizing you don't have time to finish that, whereas like if I had 6 ones left over or even 12 ones left over, like I can break those up amongst the team and help to redistribute them. So always account for the big things. I know that personally I can do between 15 and 20 points depending on the big and little things that are there. So I like to take at least 15 points at the start of the day, make sure there's a couple big things in there and a couple little things. The second thing that I do is I always gain momentum before I dive into my big things. So I will take a few really easy things to start my day. As the coffee's kicking in, get a couple wins in where it's straightforward, it's simple, it's fast, and go from there. And that gives me the momentum to go on to the big tasks and really pull through the day. So I also keep in mind my overall goals. So my overall goals, which were set as part of a hero on a mission, my primary one is to raise a decent kid. I love my child. He's crazy and he's my top priority, and I want to make sure that my goals are aligned with that. But also, I want to be a lifelong learner and someone who can help people with whatever problem they come up with. My title has been MacGyver for a long time. I love figuring things out, and part of that is learning new things all the time. But work has to get done first, and then I learn, and so I always am trying to clear room for me to be able to take classes and teach myself new skills. And then last, as an overall goal as a company, is I'm just trying to be a better leader and partner in the company. And so those things I'm always keeping in mind as I'm working forward with my day, and I will write those down in addition to my smaller day-to-day goals and see where I can align my items with that and remind myself to practice things that will help to improve being able to accomplish those. So then the next thing is what happens when a fire comes up. So fires are things that can't wait. And on light weeks, it's not a big problem when a fire comes up because you're like, oh, well, I can just move this thing to tomorrow and I'm fine. Like, I don't have that much work. But on weeks where there's really a lot of stuff going on, those things can really throw me for a loop, which is when I get help prioritizing. I ask other people around me, like, hey, what do you have going on? Which of these items that I'm doing for you or for a client that you're responsible for need to get done first? And then we can go from there. I also do deep work sessions when I can. I try to schedule them into my day. And deep work sessions basically are times when I shut off email, Slack, text messages, I put my phone on silent, and I just work on something. And that one means that at least that one big thing that I'm working on during that time is going to get done. And then two, it means that it's going to get done because no fires are going to interrupt during that time. And then two, it also just means that I can give it my full attention and I'm more efficient during those times and I'm not coming back to it. With everything I do, I also set timers and I make time estimates. So I have time blindness. I have a really hard time seeing how much time goes by. I even have a hard time with time estimates and how much time something is going to take me to do. So if I've set a time estimate, especially on a very busy week, let's say I gave myself 2 hours to get a task done, I will set a timer for an hour and a half. At an hour and a half, when that goes off, I can say, oh, well, I've only got like a few more minutes of work to do. Let me just get it done. Or I can say, oh, you know what? I've got like an hour at least left on this. Let me get it to a good stopping point, write down my notes, and put in a card to continue this later. Especially on incredibly full weeks where I don't really have wiggle room. That is very helpful. Communicating with clients helps to structure your day because they will tell you like, hey, I can't wait that long. They'll help give you deadlines and things like that. So that can be incredibly useful. And then last, I take notes. I keep a lot of notes about where things are so I can reference back to them. And I work my day backwards to forwards. I set when I want to end the day, figure out when I need to begin my day, and how much fluff time I have. And that really helps me a lot because then I'm kind of racing myself. I gamify a lot of things. The accomplishments, the smaller accomplishments throughout the day help to keep me going, help to keep things nice and even. And so that is what I do. So in a summary, I set aside times where I don't have any distractions. I set timers, so I know that I'm staying within the time limits that I need to set. And I make sure there's a couple big things every day that will be handled, usually in the middle of the day or at my peak moments. And then I pick little things to get started with, to get the momentum going, and then little things to end the day out with, so that I know I can wrap up when need be. And really, that is it. I always try to include things in my day for learning. I'm super excited. I'm going to be doing a deep book dive as a course for the Academy on They Ask You Answer, which if you watched my video about top 5 business books I recommend, or I think I called it 5 business books worth reading, that is my number one. So I'm excited to do that and learn more from another read through. It's about the second edition, which I haven't finished all of the second edition, so I'm really excited about this. And yeah, just make sure that move from rocks down, but the rocks don't always have to be first. They just have to be, make sure you get them in there. Thanks. I hope you have a great day. Bye.